Be out, guys. Welcome to this stream. Obviously, uh, reaction to all the European games and the Premiership game, of course. One of them. We've had a lot of great football action again over the last 2 or 3 days, or 4 days even. So, lot to talk about. Obviously, apologies for being late again. Obviously, I was supposed to be on here. Well, 4, obviously. Yeah, 4 o'clock. Of course, it was meant to be. But anyway, guys, we've got plenty to talk about, loads to chat about. I'll put the link in here. If anyone does want to come on, you're welcome to. It's right there. I have sent the link out and everything. Probably won't get anyone in here again. I don't know. Live chat, whatever. Be great if I can, but if not, don't matter. I'll carry on anyway. Got plenty to chat about, so I'll get straight into it, guys. And obviously, we start with European action. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, let's go to that first. Champions League. Right. So let's see. Should I start with here? Well, the big one. What a night for Arsenal. And here we go. Great night for Arsenal. They won, beat Real 2-1. Thought Real were pretty poor again. Not a great team again. I don't know what's happened to them, but they don't look like the Real of old. They don't, or early this season even, or whatever. They look pretty poor again. I don't know what their tactics were, but they weren't working. The strategy wasn't working, and Arsenal looked miles above them, but loads better, and streets ahead of them, and a better team, and deserved to win it. A fluff Panenka controversy and statement win for Arsenal. It was a night Arsenal fans will never forget, that's for sure. A dramatic 2-1 win against Real Madrid in a hostile Bernabeu secured the Gunners just a third Champions League semi-final, and the first since 2009 after an impressive first leg 3-0 win. The Bukayo Saka's saved early Panenka penalty. Why he done that, I don't know. It was stupid. It wasn't the right thing to do. But he came back from it well, of course. And Kylian Mbappe's overall spot kick, which I'm glad it was. He dived. It was never a penalty. I thought he should have been booked. Mbappe, I thought that was terrible. Atrocious what he done. Really should have been booked. But still, it took about 5 minutes or so, though, to get to that, that decision. So it was pathetic. It was terrible, VAR, with that. Yeah, Kylian Mbappe's overall spot kick ensured the Gunners' progress wasn't without incident. But it was ultimately a win that will send a message to the rest of Europe. Saka made up for his indiscretion with a second-half opener, and despite William Saliba gifting Vinicius Jr. an equaliser soon after, the Gunners never looked in trouble as Paris Saint-Germain await, with Gabriel Martinelli securing the win late on. One of the best nights of my football career, said manager Mikel Arteta. We played against a team with the biggest history. It has been an inspiration for all of us on this competition. The history we have in this competition is so short, the third time in our history of what we have just done, and we have to build on that. And now we have to continue to do that because I think we have some momentum now. Former Arsenal forward Theo Walcott, speaking to BBC Sport, said mentally these Arsenal players are ready for the big time now. What a statement result and performance by Arsenal. Arsenal's aura is Arteta. There were impressive Arsenal performances throughout over the 2 legs, with Miles Lewis-Skelly defying his 18 years of age and Saka impressing again there. But the standout was England midfielder Declan Rice, without doubt. Brilliant. He was awesome, impressive, fantastic. What a performance by Declan Rice. That 100 million odds is really, he's paying it off, isn't he? Basically, he's that great. Following on from his 2 stunning free kicks in the first leg, Rice was everywhere in Spain, defending resolutely and looking a threat going forward as he dominated Real superstars. The hosts did not have a shot on target before the 55th minute, as Arsenal made a mockery of Real's star-studded squad and their tag as tournament favourites. Not bad for a team without a recognised striker, with injuries to key players like Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and with makeshift striker Mikel Merino playing as a false nine. Arteta's preparations for the tie were meticulous, including asking advice on the phone from his former Man City boss Pep Guardiola and testing his players in stressful situations in training. Arteta said, "I called him, Guardiola, this morning because I am here thanks to him. As a player and the coach, he has been an inspiration to me. I had 4 amazing years with him, and I will always be grateful to him." Mikel Arteta has built this Arsenal team from his mind and his connections with each individual talent in that team. And he's built them to be one mind, said Walcott. When I say one mind, I mean he's so serious, and some people say he's too serious, but everyone's on the same path as him. And that's why I think their aura is him. That's the difference about Arsenal. They don't have the players with the big egos. They're a team, and I think Arteta takes it away from the team. I think it takes it away from the team. I think it's a good thing. A tale of 2 penalties and Saka's redemption. Saka will be one relieved man after passing up the chance to extend Arsenal's 3-goal lead early on, seeing his Panenka penalty clawed away by Thibaut Courtois. The Real goalkeeper celebrated with a wild home crowd as Saka was left to ponder his choice of penalty. "It can happen," he said. "I tried something, but it didn't work. I was confident I was going to score tonight. I learn in every moment. Tonight I am focused. I'm more focused on enjoying the win, and then I will review it properly." While Arteta joked, "I would have liked to slap him, but the player has to make the decision, and he was bold enough to do it." That could have been a turning point emotionally in the game because it gave them a lot of belief. But then the way he handled the situation and the way he played afterwards was incredible. Former Arsenal defender Matt Upson told BBC Radio 5 Live, "I just can't believe the selection of penalty here from Bukayo Saka. I'm so surprised it's such a bad penalty." Walcott added, "This man, Bukayo Saka, typified it from start to finish because he had a night where it could have gone the other way for him. But for me, he is such a resilient character in the dressing room." Mbappe had already had an early goal ruled out for offside before Saka's moment to forget. And the France striker was then involved in a moment of controversy that was to prove key. When he went down in the penalty area under the challenge of Rice, it looked as though Real had been handed a route back into the game when referee Francois Letitia pointed to the spot. A 5-minute delay followed before the decision was overturned after a video assistant referee review. Yeah, 5 minutes. Way too long. Way too long. Terrible to come to that decision. Dreadful. He has his arm round the inside of him and Kylian Mbappe has thrown himself to the floor. Exactly. That is embarrassing, said Upson. Saka, who was involved in the half-time bust-up with injured Real defender Dani Carvajal, then dinked home to give Arsenal the lead on the night. And despite Vinicius' equaliser, the visitors never looked like losing control. The one blot on an otherwise memorable night for Arsenal was a booking for midfielder Thomas Partey, meaning he will miss the first leg of the semi-final. Arteta's tenure has been a rollercoaster. It hasn't been an easy season for Arteta, to say the least. In his 5 years at the club, he has helped Arsenal recover from mediocrity to become consistent challengers at the top of the game, but with just the 2020 FA Cup to his name, frustration has been growing in some quarters. Having to settle for what looks like second place again in the Premier League and going out of the FA Cup has started to test the patience of some supporters. Even though other sections say injuries to players plus the obvious lack of a striker have been a mitigating factor. The manner of this victory over Real should help to win over some doubters, though, as Arteta's Arsenal again show their newfound big game mentality. Over the past 2 years, Arsenal are unbeaten against the Premier League's traditional Big Six in the league, winning 12 and drawing 8. A remarkable turnaround from a side who had previously performed atrociously against these teams. Between 2017 and 2023, Arsenal lost by 3 or more goals to just Liverpool and Man City 9 times in the Premier League alone. But as shown in their European run this season, this fear has disappeared. PSG can beat anyone. Yeah, of course, that's who Arsenal got to play next. So, going to be tough. So can Arsenal beat PSG and make their second Champions League final? The Gunners have the second best defensive record in the competition, conceding just 7 goals in 12 matches. While going forward, only 5 teams have scored more. Standing in their way, though, are youthful, vibrant PSG side, who many are tipping to win their first European crown. Julian Lorenz told BBC Radio 5 Live, over 90 minutes, 120 minutes, I really believe PSG can beat anyone because they have that style of football. The intensity, the energy, the youth, they've got so much talent. The 2 fullbacks in Achraf Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, I think you can look at the Arsenal fullbacks, Inter Milan fullbacks, Barcelona. I just think they don't have better fullbacks in Europe right now. And when you've got the midfield 3 that PSG have plus Ousmane Dembele, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, Desire Doué, and Bradley Barcola, and when goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma is on his game, then you have a huge chance, of course. Arsenal, though, will take confidence from PSG's second leg collapse at Aston Villa on Tuesday night, where Luis Enrique's young side appeared to crumble against heavy pressure. The Gunners also comfortably beat PSG 2-0 in October, although Lorenz says the French champions are now a different side. He said, I think Arsenal are so good without the ball, they are so good defensively. I know they've conceded goals lately, but they're still so strong, and this is kind of more maybe than a team that attack you and play the similar style that PSG play. This is where they could be undone. Well, who would win the Champions League? A bit of a poll here. Vote. Obviously, vote for who you think will lift the 24-25 Champions League trophy. Might do that in a minute. Have I got any comments? Nope. Still nobody watching or in here. Anyway, I'll carry on. For me, I still think Arsenal are going to miss out. I've got that feeling. I just don't think they're quite there still. And though they beat Real, that was a brilliant win. But Real were a shadow of their best side, their best form. Just looks a shadow of that. And for me, Paris Saint-Germain were awesome. I think for me, it's between them and Barcelona. That's what I think. Of course, Barcelona playing Inter in the other one. I'm going to go for Barca, I think. I think it'd be a Barca PSG final. That's what I think. And I'm going for them. Barca there. Yeah. Well, actually, Arsenal got the most, 42%. So people really do think they can do it. Well, there you go. I'd like to see it, an English team winning it, and Arsenal, they haven't won a trophy for, well, obviously since the FA Cup, but not a European trophy for I don't know how long, since the 90s, I think, early 90s. So, yeah. PSG 27% second and Barcelona 23%. I went for them, but I don't know. I still just don't think Arsenal have got enough. I don't think they're good enough, and I think PSG will beat them. And I think it will be a Barca and PSG final. I just think Barca might have too much for Inter Milan. So anyway, let's get back to this. It was a great night for Arsenal. Brilliant, great stuff. Great to get through. Yeah, as I say, Real weren't up to it. They looked poor. A real shadow of their best team, their best side, best players, best football, and they just didn't look up to it. Strange tactics, strategies, mainly trying to cross it, mainly all the time. Weren't trying to play through Arsenal. You know, nothing going through them, through the middle or sides or whatever. No pinpoint accuracy passes that were finding its targets. Mbappe looked, not great. And he tried to con that penalty, and I think that was terrible. Vinicius Jr. didn't look that great either. I don't think it was his best game either. I think a lot of them were pretty much flopped, the Real team. They just looked poor. And I think Arsenal will have a tough task, though, against PSG. I think they're going to be a lot better and a lot stronger. And got some great players, you know, quality players, skillful players, Due, Kvaratskhelia, and so forth, you know. All great players, and that's going to be a real tough one, which I don't think Arsenal can get through somehow. So again, they'll be without a trophy, which would be a shame, and it's brilliant what they've done. I don't know why they celebrated too much, thinking they'd already won it. That was terrible last night. That's what I didn't like. Yeah, you won the game, but don't celebrate too soon. You haven't won a trophy yet. You've got to get past PSG, and if you get past them, you've got either Inter Milan or Barcelona. So I'm sorry, you ain't won nothing yet. So please don't celebrate. Don't celebrate like that and think you've already won it, because you haven't. But we're going to go to the other game, which was a disappointing one for Villa. Of course, they went out, although they won on the night, 3-2. Was disappointing, but a great performance from Villa. You know, they actually won the game 3-2 on the second leg, but of course went out 5-4 on aggregate. Despair for Emery, but Villa showed they belong. Exactly. Unai Emery has enjoyed too much success in Europe to listen to talk of glorious failure. But if there is such a thing, Aston Villa delivered it on a night of pure theatre at Villa Park. Villa's Champions League odyssey ended with defeat by Paris Saint-Germain, but the manner in which they unnerved arguably the most impressive side in this season's competition demonstrated that they belonged in this elite company. It has been 42 years since they were last in this competition, then as holders. It will not be as long again if they continue to progress under expert European operator Emery, who almost engineered yet another glory night to add to his stellar managerial CV. It's probably just as long since the grand old stadium rocked like this in such an electric atmosphere. As Villa looked down and out when PSG struck twice early on to extend their 3-1 advantage on the first leg in Paris. At 5-1 down on aggregate, it had all the makings of a long and painful night for Spanish boss Emery and his players, as they were punished by this brutally brilliant PSG. They launched a stunning series of counter-punches that left PSG on the ropes, and Villa just one goal away from forcing extra time. Villa Park is a stadium built for the Champions League, although there was a misstep before kick-off when the Europa League theme was played. Yeah, that's right. That wasn't great, was it? It is something that they will not want to hear next season. No, I'm sure they won't. Villa rattled PSG in a manner well beyond Man City and Liverpool this season. The pre-match build-up was more rock concert than football match, with flames and pyrotechnics lighting up Villa Park, fireworks flying over either side of the stadium from the roof of the towering stands. The trademark stern expression of legendary former Villa manager Ron Saunders gazed down from the giant screens before kick-off as one of the most famous quotes in the club's history was revived, echoing around the stadium. "Do you want to bet against us?" is a message fixed in Villa folklore. Saunders delivering it when they stumbled and were doubted before winning the league title in 1981. Everyone inside Villa Park would have had a bet against them, as Achraf, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes put PSG 2-0 up inside the first half hour. "Start the car," said one despondent Villa fan. It is to be hoped he did not follow his own advice, otherwise he would have missed the thriller that left the stadium knee-deep in chewed fingernails by the final whistle. Instead of subsiding, Villa rose to rattle PSG in a manner that was well beyond Man City and Liverpool in previous Champions League rounds this season. Yuri Tielemans got one back, then it really was game on when John McGinn and Ezri Konsa struck twice in 3 minutes early in the second half. PSG's inexperience was exposed, but the brilliant keeper Gianluigi Donnarumma saved superbly from Marcus Rashford, Tielemans and Marco Asensio to repel Villa's assault. In a deafening wall of sound, and with PSG being given a fearful going over, Emery actually threw himself to the floor in a mixture of despair and disbelief when Konsa just failed to make contact with a header and the goal at his mercy. The great comeback was just beyond Villa, but in the disappointment there was glory. Emery will want this to be just the start for Villa. The task now is for Villa and Emery to ensure they are back on the Champions League stage next season, because nights like this, and triumphs such as those against Bayern Munich earlier in the campaign will have whetted the appetite and more. Those Villa will count on in the future, such as Konsa, Morgan Rogers and Boubacar Kamara, will benefit hugely from being exposed to the quality they faced at this level, while others such as keeper Emiliano Martinez, McGinn and Tielemans will believe this is their natural stage. Emery will also store away the knowledge and experience of this season, making it instantly clear once more, saying, "It is now most important to get Europe again. The most important competition is the Champions League. The challenge we have for the last 6 matches in the Premier League is to try and get Europe and the Champions League." He added, "To get to this level, it is the next step forward that I want to try to build with Aston Villa. Emery's standards are sky high, saying we are in a process. This is a higher level we have achieved. We want to test ourselves and how we respond. I'm so proud, happy, confident in our standards. Hopefully we can come back quickly. Our squad showed it can respond at this level. We competed. They deserve to be here. We are ambitious. It is a big challenge, and we want the club to push for this level. Whether Rashford on loan from Man United will be part of wherever Villa are next season remains to be seen. He struggled desperately through the first half here before mirroring Villa's own effort with a transformed second half performance, in which he set up Konsa's goal and was left in disbelief when a shot he thought was arrowing towards the top corner was turned away by the twisting Donnarumma. Rashford was given the nod ahead of England striker Ollie Watkins, who has been nursing a knee injury and only came on for the last 14 minutes. The final whistle at first brought groans of despair, followed by a standing ovation for Villa's players and Emery as he marched down the touchline. Villa left nothing out there at Villa Park in their quest to reach the semi-final, and Emery, who has made Europe his speciality, will want this to be just the start of Villa's Champions League experiences. Yeah, exactly. Disappointment there, but brilliant from Villa. Great night. They won the game, obviously, but of course went out on aggregate. But great from them. Let's see if they can do better next season. They're still in the FA Cup, of course. They've still got that to play for. So there's still plenty to go for there for Villa. and to obviously get qualification again for the Champions League. So still plenty to go for there for Villa, for me. Big up to you, Luca. Yeah, big up, bro. Big up, my friend. Hope you're good, mate. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm cool, bro. Cool. Hope you're well as well. Do you think we beat PSG? I've already said about that, mate. I don't think you're quite ready to do that. I think PSG are that much better. I'm sorry. As great as you were over the 2 legs against Real, I still think PSG will beat you. I think they look that much better. They got so much more than I think Real looked poor. I know you did beat them 2-0 earlier on in I think it's the group stage. But I just think for now, you can't beat them now. I think they've improved greatly, and they're great team. Even though I went for Barcelona to win the Champions League, I don't know. It'll be tough. I think PSG have a great chance as well. So I think it is between those two for me, Barca and PSG. I just think Arsenal haven't quite got it just yet. They made great advances again, of course, semi-final now. But I just don't think you'll do it. I just don't think you'll get that extra step to the final and win it. I just don't think it'll happen. I'm sorry, mate. But anyway, let's go to this article, and it's who will win Champions League. BBC Sports predictions here. And of course, everyone's welcome to put a comment in the live chat, what they think, their predictions, or what they think will happen. Just put what you think's going to happen there. I've obviously got predictions, obviously, for the Europa League and Conference League tonight as well. So we'll be going into them a bit later on. But for now, I've got this article here: who will win Champions League? BBC Sports predictions. Yeah. So I'll go into this. Arsenal, Inter Milan, Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain have booked their spots in the semi-finals of this season's Champions League. Now, the Final Four has been decided. It's time to have a look at who could lift the trophy in Munich next month. BBC Sports journalists and pundits have had their say, and PSG appear to be the favourites. Yeah. Who do you think will come out on top? You can vote for your winners below. I've already done this. I still thought Barcelona, but I might change it now. I just think, probably still PSG maybe now. I'm going to go for that. I know it's going to be, I think it's one of those two. And I have been wrong, of course. I was wrong about Arsenal. I actually thought you'd lose this second leg 3-1 and still go through, of course. But, you ended up winning it fairly comfortably. It's only because of Raya and Saliba. I think Raya done that stupid rollout pass out to Saliba, put him in trouble. That was terrible from Raya. He's done that for us before, of course, when he played for us. He'll still make mistakes. He'll do it again for Arsenal. Believe you me, he will. He can do that. He's capable of that. He's got the bozo gene, I'm afraid. But anyway, I'm going to go. I am going to go for PSG this time. I know I picked Barca before, but I'm not. I'm going PSG. I've got a feeling now they will have too much for Arsenal and probably Barca if they get there. I just think Barca is still going to have too much for Inter. So PSG there. Spanish football expert Guillem Balaguer. Balaguer. They have everything: control, structure, counter, quality, a player of genius, but submitted to the group. They all think the same way. The only way to beat them is if they have to defend a lot in their own box. Barcelona could do that. If that's the final, it's a final for our times. 2 Pep Guardiola disciples showing where football is going. Barcelona Chief Football News reporter Simon Stone. I went for them at the start of the competition, admittedly because I wanted someone different to win it. But I'm not going to change now. They are durable defensively, creative in midfield, and have the X factor in attack. They have not won a trophy since Lionel Messi's time. They will do this season. So that's what he thinks anyway. PSG Chief Football writer Phil McNulty. On the evidence of Arsenal's brilliant win over 2 legs against holders Real Madrid, it will be a classic Champions League semi-final against PSG. But I'm going with the best team I've seen in the competition this season. Exactly, same for me. PSG wobbled against Aston Villa in the second leg, but they have a strong team with emphasis on team and a world-class attack in the shape of Ousmane Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Kvaratskhelia, and a choice of brilliant teenager Desire Dure or Bradley Barcola. Inter Milan, BBC Radio 5 Live senior football reporter Ian Dennis. I know Arsenal have been very impressive against Real Madrid, but a team who appear to have gone under the radar to reach the semi-finals for me are Inter Milan. The Italian champions have the best defensive record in the competition. Nobody has kept more clean sheets than keeper Jan Sommer. They have a solid platform and a real goal threat in Lautaro Martinez. It's the second time in 3 seasons Inter have reached the semi-finals. I just think they could prove to be a stubborn opposition for Barcelona. Paris Saint-Germain, former Arsenal defender and pundit Matt Upson. It's easy to change opinion once you get through another set of games, but I'm going to stick with my gut feeling of PSG to win the competition. I think they've been standout performers all the way through. They had a real tough spell at Aston Villa and they survived. This side has a grit about it, and I've not seen in any other PSG team. Arsenal football news reporter Alex Howell. I'm going with Arsenal as Mikel Arteta's side have faced a lot of adversity this season and have found their stride in the Champions League. Defensively, they are excellent, and with the attacking threat of Bukayo Saka, the Gunners have the quality to hurt any team left in the competition. PSG senior football correspondent Sami Mokbel. Luis Enrique has built a team without egos, without the stardust, but look stronger for it. Lionel Messi, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe have gone. But this new-look PSG side represents a triumph for work ethic, togetherness and structure. They made Liverpool look mere mortals over 2 legs in the last 16. That's no mean feat. Expect the Parisians to lift their first Champions League. PSG, BBC sport football expert Chris Sutton. I think they are such a well-balanced team. They got rid of all the big hitters now. They've got Liga 1 wrapped up already, so they can concentrate on the Champions League, and they just ooze class and quality. Arsenal, former Arsenal forward and pundit Theo Walcott. I want Arsenal to win it, and they are certainly capable of going all the way. They will be favourites now after going to the Bernabeu and beating Real Madrid. But there's something about Inter Milan that worries me. The way they defend makes me think they have a real chance too. It is still so open though, and I can't even call either semi-final right now, let alone the final. It's too hard to say who will win it with any certainty. Arsenal, former Man City defender and pundit Nedum Onuoha. As I look at the 2 ties left now, I think it's going to be one of the first-time winners. So either Arsenal or PSG. Whoever comes through their semi-final. That's a shame for one of them because they are the 2 best teams in the competition. It's very hard to choose between the 2, but I'm going to go for Arsenal. Beating Real Madrid, even if this isn't the best version of Real Madrid, is one thing. But to go to the Bernabeu with all the talk about a comeback and be so robust, showed they had what it takes. Overall, in terms of how they are prepared to defend and suffer and still have a threat in attack, I would argue they are the most complete team left in the competition. Well, there we go. So, like to obviously see what everyone else thinks. Anyone in the live chat, you want to leave a comment, what you think will happen, predictions, leave them there, put them there. But I'm going to move on and go on to this one. Obviously, the Premier League from last night. And Newcastle United walloped Crystal Palace 5-0. Big statement win there from Newcastle. Looking great, looking superb. I think we'll get third now, at least third, in Champions League again. I think now you've got the momentum, so much confidence. I think they're playing for Eddie Howe as well right now. With the man still being in hospital with pneumonia, battling that. I think they are really playing for him to make him proud, and I'm sure they are. I think they are definitely. Been great performances from them, from Newcastle. Yeah, 5-0 there. Murphy, of course, put them 1-0 up in the 14th. Gahey own goal in the 38th, made it 2-0. Barnes made it 3-0 in the 47th. 48th. Yeah, 48th minute, sorry. Share as well in the 48th. And Isak in the second half, of course, 58. 5-0. Massive win. Superb. And this guy is really in top form. Jacob Murphy. And there's obviously talk about England, which I'll go into very soon when I've read this. But an emphatic victory yet again for Newcastle. Superb. They can't be beaten at the moment. They're looking amazing. They could go all the way and win. Yeah. Well, I still think get third, at least. So Newcastle United roared to third place in the Premier League and closer to Champions League qualification with a crushing victory over Crystal Palace at St James Park. Still without manager Eddie Howe, who continues to recover from pneumonia, the Magpies delivered a ruthless first-half display to race to a 4-0 lead and deal another blow to the Eagles' own hopes of playing in Europe next season. Jacob Murphy set the tone for the big win with a 14th minute opener as the winger's right foot strike from a very tight angle squeezed past Dean Henderson at his near post. Palace had a chance to level when Henderson's counterpart Nick Pope caught Chris Richards inside the box, and the referee pointed to the spot after being referred to the pitchside monitor by the video assistant ref, calls VAR. But the Newcastle goalkeeper redeemed himself with a comfortable save to stop Eberechi Eze's tame spot kick. It was terrible, dreadful spot penalty. Much worse than Saka's, definitely a lot worse than his. There's a little tiddler and on the ground, little side foot. It was like a pass back. It's horrible, terrible. It proved a costly miss as Newcastle doubled their lead in the 38th minute when Palace defender Mark Gahey, who also scored an own goal when these sides last met in November, turned a Harvey Barnes cross into his own net. Barnes then claimed a goal for himself in first half injury time, his fourth in 3 games, when he beat Maxence Lacroix with a brilliant step over and then fired across Henderson. The home fans were in full voice before the break as Murphy's cross in the 8th minute of added time was headed home by Fabian Schär to further extend the advantage. Alexander Isak, who had only scored once in past 6 games, bagged his 25th goal of the season when Joel Linton robbed position from Lacroix, and the Sweden striker planted a fine 25-yard finish into the bottom corner. The success was Newcastle's biggest of the season and moved them 2 points clear of Nottingham Forest and 4 behind second-placed Arsenal with 6 games left. The closest the visitors came to a consolation was when Daniel Munoz's header was blocked on the line by his teammate Eddie Nketiah. Oliver Glasner's side, who had conceded 5 goals for the second game running after a 5-2 loss at Man City, remained 12th in the table with 43 points. Isak back on target as Palace suffer back problems again. Howe is expected to return to the dugout for the home game against Ipswich Town on 26th of April. But in his absence, assistants Jason Tindall and Graham Jones have stuck with the tried and tested to maintain the club's impressive run. It was the sixth time Newcastle had named the same starting lineup, and it brought them a sixth consecutive victory, which moved them within 4 points of Arsenal, who they face in their penultimate game of the season. The Magpies, who have already qualified for the Europa Conference League with their Carabao Cup victory, are 5 points clear of sixth-placed Chelsea and well placed to take it to Europe's elite club competition. So actually, yeah, if they're already in the conference, they can't. Can they make Champions League? I doubt it. They can't do that, surely. Could they get? If they can't, obviously there is another place open for the Champions League, I suppose, or whatever. If they've already got Europa Conference, then can they still qualify for Champions League? I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. But I still think they get third, though, somehow. They visit seventh placed Aston Villa on Saturday before games against Ipswich, Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Everton, and remain on course for a top three finish, especially with their front three in such fine fettle. Howe would have been pleased that Isak, the club's top scorer with 21 league goals, was back on the score sheet after a poor run by his own standards. The striker had looked to be having another off day, failing to net after he was brilliantly set up twice by Murphy inside the first 10 minutes. Murphy then took things into his own hands with a crucial first goal. It was the 30-year-old's third goal in as many matches, and he now has 6 goal involvements in 4 games. Fellow forward Barnes, who is keeping Anthony Gordon on the bench, also remained a threat on the left wing as he forced England defender Gahey's own goal before scoring himself. Palace, on the other hand, have only won once in 4 games but still have an outside chance of qualifying for European competition, with a 5-point gap to 8th placed Bournemouth. But it will be worrying for boss Glasner that his side failed to improve defensively, despite the return of captain Gahey to the back line from a one-match suspension. With an FA Cup semi-final against Villa on Saturday, 26th of April, the Eagles will hope to fix their problems and regain their form to keep alive their hopes of winning the competition for the first time. Yeah, player of the match, Jacob Murphy, which he well deserved. Brilliant. I think him and Harvey Barnes should get in the England squad myself. Anyway, I'm going to go to that article about Jacob Murphy now, and obviously read this, and no more comments. So, what happened now? I thought, hold on a minute. I thought I had that on there. Obviously not. Right, here we go. Yeah, I'm joining the petition. Murphy in England frame, for sure, definitely. Right. If there is a petition to add Jacob Murphy to the England squad, his Newcastle teammate Harvey Barnes wants to sign it. Well, he should sign it for him as well. So both should be in it. I hope they should be, and hopefully they will. Winger Murphy scored 1 goal and assisted another as his side thrashed Crystal Palace 5-0 to move up to third in the Premier League on Wednesday night. The 30-year-old's 19 goal involvements this season are as many as in his past 3 campaigns combined. And over his past 5 matches, Murphy has netted 3 goals, 4 assists and lifted the Carabao Cup. On Sunday, England manager Thomas Tuchel was watching as uncapped Murphy tore Man United apart. Murphy does have a few England youth caps, but so far, the man who was born in Wembley, London, has never received a senior England call-up. He's playing unbelievable, said Newcastle winger Barnes. He's such a character in the changing room and deserves everything he's getting. I'm joining the petition to get him into the England squad. Should Jacob Murphy be in the next England squad? I think so, for sure. What he's doing. Yeah, he's 30, but it don't matter what age you are. Look at, what's his name? Burns, for Newcastle. He's 32. He got an England cap. Henderson came back. He's 30-odd. Got an England, came back to play for England. And, of course, Kyle Walker, 30-odd as well. So why not? I think he's been brilliant. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 74%. that shows, overwhelmingly that it's, he should be in it, and I think he should. Still not sure, 16%, no chance, 10%. So massive for him to get in it, and I think he should, definitely. I think he's been great. I think he's been amazing. Been superb. I did mean it, yeah. He said Murphy on opener. It's quite odd for a player to have a breakthrough season aged 30, but that is exactly what is happening with Murphy, who did not start more than 17 Premier League matches in a single season until this campaign. Boyhood Toon fan Murphy joined the club from Norwich in 2017. For 7 years, he was on the fringes of the Newcastle squad and had been loaned out to West Bromwich Albion and Sheffield Wednesday. But this season, he has become a star, and a big reason is down to his connection with Alexander Isak. Only Mohamed Salah, 18, has more assists than Murphy's 11 in the Premier League this season. 7 of those assists have been for Newcastle striker Isak. If he sets him up 3 more times, the pair will break a Premier League record. Murphy did not assist Isak on Wednesday night, but it was only because of the Swedes' poor finishing. In the first 5 minutes, Murphy twice reached the byline and put in deliciously dangerous crosses, which Isak was unable to turn in. It was Murphy who did open the scoring, beating goalkeeper Dean Henderson for a power with a shot which some may say suspiciously looked like a cross. Well, you could say that. He obviously thought he meant this. He actually meant this one, which I think Tonali didn't mean against the Bees, and it went in. Well, thanks to Flecken as well. He was poor yet again, of course, but Tonali meant that one as a cross. This was, I think Murphy meant this, and it looked like he was looking at the goal and the goalkeeper. So I think for me, he did mean this one, definitely. I did mean it, yeah. Murphy told Sky Sports, when the juice is flowing, you just got to hit it. The defenders come out, so it was going to be hard to get through him. So I thought, just shoot here, lovely. Murphy's ball in for Fabian Schär at the end of the first half. Got the finish it deserved when the Newcastle defender glanced a header into the far corner to make it 4-0. Murphy had the goal, an assist, and a whole host of other chances created, all before half-time. It means that of all the English players in the Premier League this season, only Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins have more goal involvements than Murphy. Or put another way, Murphy has a higher combined goals and assists total this term than Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Morgan Rogers, Marcus Rashford, Eberechi Eze and Dominic Solanke, who were all in the last England squad. Premier League goal involvements by English players this season. Cole Palmer, goals 14, assists 8, total 22. Ollie Watkins, goals 14, assists 6, total 20. Jacob Murphy, goals 8, assists 11, total 19. Kaya Saka, goals 6, assists 10, total 16. James Maddison, goals 9, assists 6, and total 15. Morgan Rogers, goals 8, assists 7, and total 15. So, yeah, for me, this guy's got to be in the England squad. And as I say, if anyone wants to leave a comment, what they think, their opinion, just put it in their live chat or under any of the comments under the post, of course, of this stream. Leave something below it, what you think. And so I'll go on to the final subject now, which is the Europa League and Conference League, of course. And predictions for tonight. By the way, guys, I'm doing an actual Premier League prediction stream tomorrow. I've done it. I'm doing that one separate to all this because this just take forever if I do the whole lot. So there will be an actual Premier prediction. I'll probably do that every week now, probably every Friday. I'm going to do my own Premier prediction and talk about any other Premier news that's going around, anything like transfers or any other news. I'm going to talk about probably a bit about Van Dijk tomorrow, because obviously he signed a new contract for Liverpool. So I might discuss him as well tomorrow and other stuff, as well as the prediction. So watch out for that tomorrow. Not sure what I'm going to call the stream yet, but it will be out tomorrow at some stage. So check that one out. But for now, I'm obviously doing all reactions to these Europa matches, European, Champions League and Conference, of course, and all that. So anyway, we'll start off with this one. First quarterfinal, Atletico versus Rangers. I don't think there's any team news or anything. Obviously, I think Atletico will win this fairly easily. Head-to-head there. Rangers 8th, their league position, and of course Atletico 2nd. Atletico with 19 and Rangers 14. These are the form guide. Atletico with 2 wins and 3 draws on their last 5 games, sorry. And Rangers 2 draws and 2 wins and 1 defeat on their last 5. I still think Atletico will be too strong. I'm going 4-1 Atletico. 4-1. Yeah, 4-1 for that one. Eintracht Frankfurt versus Spurs. Right, the form guide there. Eintracht Frankfurt have won 2, drawn 1 and lost 2. Spurs have lost 3, drawn 1 and won 1. So obviously Frankfurt's form is better, and I think they'd probably be too strong for Spurs. I'm going 3-1 Frankfurt. Yeah, 3-1 Frankfurt. And Man United versus Lyon. Of course, it's 2-2 from the first leg. Right, the form guide. Man United have, of course, drawn 2, lost 2, and won 1. Lyon have won 2, drawn 1. Sorry, 1, 2, 1, 3. In fact, drawn 1 and lost 1. So I think for me they're favourites here. It's 2-2, but I'm going 2-1. 3-1 Lyon. I'm going here 3-1. So Lyon going through. What would that be? 5-1. Sorry, 5-2 on aggregate. That'll be. So as I say, Atletico winning 4-1, going through 4-1 on aggregate. Frankfurt winning 3-1 and going through 4-2. That'll be on aggregate. And as I say, Man United losing 3-1 and going out as well. So that's all the predictions, guys. And as I say, look out for the stream tomorrow. It'll be a Premiership prediction and plenty of other stuff coming up. Follow me on Insta, Mr. B for Life 182, and subscribe to me at Mr. B Hiver Football Chat and Mr. B Chats England Cricket. So go and look, go and subscribe on there. Keep hitting the like, smashing the like, subbing if you're new. I'm up to 117 now, which is great. Please keep subbing. Brilliant. And obviously, watch out for the more content to come. And thanks for watching again. Been a great stream. Not many in the live chat, only Luca. So thanks to him. once again. Keep watching live or on playback. Great, guys. Thank you. Until the next stream, I'm out of here. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone. Bye.